Hey everybody, sorry about the delay there. They told me that my stream hadn't started yet, and then it started with 20 seconds already recorded, so here we are. Let me just get everything set up over here. And if you guys can just let me know when you're here, make sure you can hear me, see me okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I see that we are live. Perfect. There we are. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that weird beginning. It happened last week, too. I don't know. I feel like I can't ever catch a break with YouTube. Every time I start this stream, it says that something went wrong. So here we are. Hey, good to see you all here. Hey, guys. All right. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. All right, cool. So let's jump right in. If anyone has any questions, we can get started. Also, I'm going to post the survey over in the chat. This is the last night to take the survey. I'm going to be closing it down right after this Q&A. So if you haven't already taken this summer survey, if you could head over there and answer a few questions just about who you are, what you're streaming, what services and devices you use, and stuff like that, we would really appreciate it. We are going to get some posts together that are just kind of looking at your answers to see what kind of trends our readers have with cord cutting. I also just realized my air conditioning is on and it's super loud, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, if it's getting in the way. But man, it has been so hot over here. John, hey, John wants to know how my week has been, and the answer is crazy. There has been so much news, so much going on at work. So it has definitely been a crazy week, but really good. I don't know if you guys saw, but right at the end of the day, just when I thought I was done working for the day, I started getting all of these tweets, emails, Facebook messages saying that AT&T has been adding some regional sports networks to AT&T TV and AT&T TV Now. So very cool, very exciting. They have added a few. They've added NESN. They've added AT&T Sportsnet Pittsburgh, which is very cool. So that means that a streaming service is finally hosting Pittsburgh sports, which hadn't been the case for a while. Also, Sportsnet Southwest. So if you're in any of those areas, you can now watch on AT&T TV Now. Jim says, I think that AT&T will report subscriber losses tomorrow. Yeah, I'm with you. I already have a post ready to go showing that they're losing subscribers. I'm ready to change it if anything different happens. But yeah, completely agree. We will get the earnings report probably just before 8 o'clock. They are scheduled to do their call, I think, at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll have to double check my calendar. But yeah, I'm expecting subscriber losses also. Damien wants to know what my thoughts are on Peacock so far. I think so far so good. I think that obviously their big downfall is that they are not available on Roku or Amazon Fire just yet. But I like it. I really like the content lineup that they have going on. I think the interface is pretty easy to use. So I'm a fan, but I'm interested to know what you guys think. Also, it's so dark in here. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. I'm telling you, I'm still working on my whole setup over here. Tony says they should bring back Fox Sports to Sling TV. Yeah, agreed. I wish that everyone could just get all of these deals made. I wish that everything was available everywhere, to be honest. I think it would be great to have more options, but I'm not so sure anything is coming to Sling anytime soon. Wow, John says in Broken Arrow it is 93 degrees right now. Actually, let me check my weather app. I'll tell you exactly what the temperature is. Oh, it's only 77. Here I am complaining about how hot it is, but it was up in the 80s today, and for Cleveland, that was pretty darn hot. Bill says Peacock is a fail. Tell me why, Bill. I'd like to know your opinion on what you like or don't like about Peacock. Yeah, John says my favorite channel on Peacock is Bob Ross. Yeah, that's a great addition. I'm really glad they have that. Somebody just told me that they were watching the Bob Ross channel to help them fall asleep at night. It was so soothing. I thought that was great. Jason says, is there any news on how Tivo is doing with the streaming 4K stick? As far as I know, they're doing well. I know that they had a lot of glitches. They've been making updates pretty consistently since it came out, but I've heard some good feedback about it, so I hope that they're doing well. I'm just pulling for everybody to succeed. So great that there's another option for an Android TV. Lillard says, have I heard anything about the NFL ticket? I have not. I'm expecting to hear more as we get closer to the NFL season, just because everything is so up in the air right now. Oh, Bill says, yeah, Peacock was a failure because it's not on Roku or Fire TV. Same with HBO Max. I think that's obviously the big downside to both of those right now. So hopefully those deals can be made, but we will have to wait and see. Bill is watching the classic 30 Rock on Peacock. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of good content over there. It is so dark in here. What the heck is happening? Last time it was so bright, no one could see me. I'll work on it, I promise. We might just have to deal with it for today. Damien wants to know what the cheapest way to get the MLB network is, and my answer is that is a great question, and I don't really have an answer for you. Let me send you. Hold, please. Let me find this post that we put up today. Tamara wrote a post about how to watch MLB opening day. We have info here about how to watch on ESPN, how to watch on MLB Network. We also listed the RSNs for all of your favorite teams, so you can get some more info there. Martin says, thank you, Jess, for the Locast updates. Yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to get those updates out as soon as we get them. Locast sends us over a press release as soon as they launch in a new area, and I love reporting on that the second it happens. I know we have a lot of big Locast fans. I wish they would come to Cleveland, honestly. I think it's a great service. Paul says, I still think it's weird that Peacock does not carry the NBC channel when CBS All Access carries a CBS channel. Yeah, I think that's kind of on their roadmap from what I'm hearing, is that they want to get a live feed, but it just is not happening quite yet. Richard says, the free side of Peacock is not bad. Works good on my Android DVR and on my Xbox One. Watching the Johnny Carson show and Jay Leno Garage. Yeah, that's something I really like about Peacock. It's something I really appreciate, is that they have that free tier. So you don't have to pay for the service. You can choose to upgrade if you want, but you don't have to. I think that is a great model. I wish that more streaming services would do that, where they have a free tier and then a limited tier, a premium tier. I think that's a great model. I really like it. Brett says, will HBO Max be losing the Harry Potter movies next month? They are actually losing them this month. The Harry Potter movies are leaving soon. Let me grab a post. For some reason, the search on our website has been crazy since our big update, and I have been begging people to fix it ever since. It's on the list. I promise it's happening. Here's the post about HBO losing Harry Potter channels. So let me stick this in the chat for you guys. PC Doctor says, good evening. It looks like you live in a city downtown. I do. I live in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and I love it over here. Bill says, I've been watching PBS Passport lately. Yeah, Bill, I saw you post that in the Facebook group. PBS Passport is a really cool service that I don't think enough people know about. I should definitely do a little update about PBS Passport soon. John also has the free tier of Peacock. Yeah, that seems like a super popular option. I'm interested to know exactly how many people they have on the free tier and how many people are paying at some point. James says, what's up with AT&T TV Now 11th houring RSN deal? Sinclair actually came to terms with someone. Yeah, crazy. So like I said, I thought I was done with work for the day, and then all of this news started coming in. I'm sure that they've added even more. I posted about 3 of them, but after this, I will go back through and keep searching around to find out if they're adding any more. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's awesome, especially for Pittsburgh fans who are finally getting a streaming option if they want it. So very cool. Lilart says, is Verizon bringing back cable? I saw they got a new box. I'm not really sure what's going on with Verizon. I think we posted quite a while ago that they had a new box out. I'm not really sure what's going on with them. Definitely something I need to look into more. Richard says, if anyone is a Torchwood fan, it's on sale on Vudu right now. That's awesome. Thanks for the heads up. Good to know. I'm a huge fan of buying digital seasons on Vudu. I just like having them. And then if something happens with these licensing issues, you have your own copy. James, yeah, I got the joke. Sinclair agreeing with someone. I love it. I'm happy to see it happen. Gives me hope for more. All right, just checking a couple of things real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Damien says, how much is the AT&T TV Now sports package? I don't think they have an actual sports package, but they have a lot of sports channels on their Plus and Max plans. I think that you need the Max plan to get most of these regional sports networks. Okay, here's a good question for all of you that I think you'll be able to answer a little bit better than me, because I'm not super familiar with DVRs. PC Doctor wants to know, do you know if there are going to be any DVR services that offer a lot of space and not erase automatically? That's a great question. Are you looking for cloud DVR services? Are you looking for a device? Let us know what you're looking for, and I'm sure these guys will have some great answers for you. Just for some reason, Luke always covered the DVR stuff, and I never really got super familiar with it, so I'm not the best at answering those questions, but I know some of you are much more familiar than me. Fernando says, any chatter on YouTube TV and the Marquee Network deal yet? No, I haven't heard anything, and to be honest, YouTube TV does not give me a lot of information, so I usually don't find out until something is already happening. Unfortunately, they are not one of the companies that sends me things in advance. I wish they were. YouTube TV, if you're listening, if you're watching, give me a call. PC Doctor says, cloud or device. I will say YouTube TV has a really good DVR. It does erase after 9 months. Okay. But it does have unlimited space, which is nice. I know that's something a lot of people appreciate. I would say if you don't want it to erase ever, that you would want to look into a DVR device. Yeah, G-Money also says YouTube TV has the best DVR, although content goes away after 9 months. All right, let's see. TIJ says, saying, hi, how are ya? Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the week, everybody. Jermaine, first of all, very glad you're here. Jermaine and I were having a conversation on Twitter earlier. He had a horrible internet disaster happen to him this week, so I'm very glad that you made it for the Q&A. PC Doctor says, I have AT&T Uverse, but don't plan on keeping it forever. If you're a AT&T fan, I would say AT&T TV Now is a good option. It's one of the least expensive actually now, one of the least expensive options. If you're looking for RSNs, their Max package carries some. Check out some of our posts over on Quirketers News if you are looking for more info. John is back, just got some water. I've got mine sitting here too. We all know I start losing my voice every time I do one of these videos, so my Cord News mug is right next to me right now. Yeah, T.I. says that YouTube TV is also the only one with unlimited DVR. I know a lot of them have some included, some that you can pay for an upgrade to get more, but if you don't want your content to be deleted, I would say you might be better off with something like a Tablo device. Jermaine says, I have a delay, so I'm just going to sit and watch, not asking questions that have already been asked. Jermaine, I'm so sorry to hear about your struggle this week, but we're glad you're here. Susan says, I need good, inexpensive internet. You know what? Let me see. I have a post where at the bottom I included, we have this widget that connects to another website where you can stick in your zip code and get some options. I don't know if that's helpful, but maybe the company told me to stick it on there, so I did. But let me see if I can find a post that has that. Is it on here? Yeah. Yeah, so down at the bottom of that post, you'll find a thing that says something like best internet deals in your area, and it should give you some options. That's a good place to start, and then I would say just kind of Google and see what else is available. Definitely price check lots of different things. Make sure that you're looking out for promo pricing. I know that's been a huge thing lately. People sign up for these internet deals that seem super cheap, and then they go up drastically in the second year, so something to look out for. Rob says, I love YouTube TV. Yeah, I think that you are not alone in this crowd. It is a favorite among Cord Cutters news readers. Although I'm interested to see, I'm very excited about this survey for the summer because I'm interested to see if people have switched to a different service after the price hike. So very much looking forward to looking through those responses later this week. Deborah says, Dark Shadows, the series and the movies are leaving Hulu. Oh no, I hate seeing content leaving services. Alan says, is AT&T TV Now new? No contract. It is no contract. It's relatively new within the past year or so. Yeah, it's AT&T's streaming service, not to be confused with AT&T TV, which is more of a cable-like service. You need a separate device for that and everything. But yeah, AT&T TV Now is a streaming service, no contract. You can sign up for, it starts at $55 a month. You can sign up and leave anytime you want. CJ says, greetings from Trenton, Georgia. How are you this evening, Miss Jess? Oh, Miss Jess, I taught very, very briefly. I was a teacher and my students called me Miss Jess. That just made my heart happy for a minute. Some good memories. I'm doing great. It has been a very busy day. I have not stopped working since I think 7:30 this morning, so I'm a little tired, but hanging in there and excited to be here chatting with all of you. All right, let's see. Bill says YouTube TV added NBC LX to the channel lineup today. That's awesome. Let me make a note of that. My very, very messy pages of notes that I always make during our Q&As. NBC LX. I don't think I even know what that channel is. G-Money says, that was one of the reasons I got YouTube TV, the DVR, and I think they are the only one that has MLB Network and Fox Sports Midwest. I want to say that another one had Midwest, but don't hold me to that. Let me check this post that we put up earlier. I spent a long time searching for which services have which RSNs earlier today. And of course, AT&T pulled a fast one on me and added a bunch more. Let's see here. Fox Sports Midwest is Hulu, AT&T TV Now with the Max package, and YouTube TV. So you do have a few options. Jim says, hi Jess, us in Ohio. is mandated to wear a mask. Stay safe. Yeah, I'm actually in Cuyahoga County, so we've been required for about the last week to wear a mask. I've been wearing mine anyway, safety first. I've been wearing mine nonstop since March, I think. But yeah, the entire state now is mandated. Ben says, do you think that streaming TV services like YouTube and Sling TV, Fubo, would go to $100 a month like cable? Funny you should ask that. I was in a meeting late last week, and somebody else in the company asked me about my opinion on that, and my answer was, I think that if we get much higher, it's going to get to a breaking point where people are no longer willing to pay that much. It's going to be ridiculous. People cut the cord to save money, and I think that we're finally going to get to a point where people say, enough is enough, I'm not paying this much. The question is what happens next. Will people go back to cable? Will they do something else? I think that we're going to see an uptick in on-demand services, free services, things like that. I also would not be at all surprised to see some of these live TV streaming services add tiers, kind of like the Peacock method, where they have the free tier, the paid tier, the premium tier. I would not be surprised to see some services kind of doing that, where they have like a bare bones version for a limited amount of money a month, and then more premium options with more channels. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. But that would be my professional prediction. Robert wants to know if it's raining in Cleveland. It is pouring in Conneaut to the east. Ooh, good to know. That explains why it's so dark over here. I was just complaining about the lighting in here, but it does look like it's about to rain, so I would not be surprised to see that happen in the next few minutes. It's probably going to get loud. If it gets too loud, we will call it a night, but hopefully we can get through the next half hour or so. James says, PlayStation Vue had a huge price. Remember what happened there? Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that adding more channels obviously means a price hike. There's not really a way around that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, things did not go well for PlayStation Vue. There was a lot going on there too. Sony wasn't doing a great job of promoting that service. They weren't really doing a whole lot with it. Some of these other services are much better at promotion and retaining customers, things like that. Oh, Bill, thank you. NBC LX is a sub-channel of NBC News focusing mainly on local news, supposedly run by their 42 owned NBC local channels. I had no idea. Thank you. Richie says, thanks, Jess. Great talk show. Thank you. I'm always happy to do this. Every Wednesday, I get so tired at the end of the day, but as soon as we jump on here, I feel like I'm good to go, happy to talk for an hour about all things cord cutting. Robert says, I live close to you in Erie, PA. We probably have some mutual friends. I went to college out there. Lillard wants to know what the top 5 streaming apps are right now. For live services, it would be YouTube, Hulu, Sling, Fubo, and I don't know what the last one would be, AT&T TV Now. I knew I was forgetting one. There are a ton though. There are all of the on-demand where you have your Netflix, Peacock, HBO Max. There's also a ton of great free ones, and I'll actually have a post up probably at the end of this week with some good free app options. Amazing Eric says AT&T TV Now is adding many RSNs for the first time in a live TV streaming service, such as Sportsnet affiliates and MASN. Let me make a note that MASN is on there. I don't think I got that one yet. Yeah, I got posts up about 3 of the additions of RSNs, but I know that I'm missing some. I'm just grabbing them as they come in. People are sending me screenshots, and thank you so much to anyone who sends me Facebook messages, Twitter DMs, emails, anything, tagging me on Twitter and letting me know whenever these channels are added. I appreciate that so much. It makes it so much easier for me to very quickly confirm that news and get stuff posted, so thank you. All right, Jeff says, good evening all. Jess, people will not go to cable if streaming services skyrocket. As Luke beat into our heads a million times, as streaming prices go up, so does cable. Yes, absolutely, and I think that gets left out of the conversation all the time, is that whenever you're comparing the two, streaming prices will go up maybe once a year, but cable prices are constantly going up. And I think that once people really get back to comparing the two, they'll see that they're still saving money. And again, that's something I need to do another post on, is that comparison again. It's been a while. So we are overdue for that. But I make sure to post anytime I hear about a price hike with cable too. So there were recently a couple that were raising their regional sports fee prices, the fees, and those are the things that are really sneaky, because you think that you're paying $50 a month for your cable service, but you're forgetting about broadcast TV fees, you're forgetting about regional sports fees, all these little extra things that get added on, and all of a sudden you're paying $100. And where's that money going? Oh, Robert, yeah, good point. AT&T TV Now isn't necessarily new. It was DirecTV Now before. Yeah, that's true. I guess I was just thinking the rebranding, they kind of redid it, tried to make it its own new thing. But yes, it was DirecTV Now before. Good call out. Thank you. Hey, Javier. Good to see you. Alan says, Pluto TV is a great free one. Don't forget, Pluto TV added 3 new channels this week. Yeah, tons of great free ones. There's Pluto TV, Stir, Zumo, Tubi. Did I already say that? I started talking and forgot where my head was going. There's Roku TV. There is Redbox that has a free streaming service. Just a ton of free content. Yep, Bill says news on to watch local news everywhere. Also, Stir is a really great option for free news, that you can watch something that's pretty much local to where you are, or you can choose Washington, D.C. as your closest city if you want to get national news. So tons of great options there too. All right, time for a drink. The voice is starting to go. Robert, yeah, talk about confusing. AT&T is like the master of creating the most confusing names and rebranding, switching stuff around and making things very complicated. Jim says, Jess, why do streaming services always need to add more channels? Just stop it, then no more price hikes. Yeah, that's the problem though, is that they want to be competitive. So if one streaming service has channels, another one doesn't, they want to try to keep up. They want to offer their customers the best quality for the best price. And unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. But they want to always be improving so that they can bring in more customers. And I get that, it makes sense, but it does also come with a price hike, which is frustrating. Fernando wants to know of any services that stream in 4K, and off the top of my head, I can't remember which do and which don't. So if anyone wants to add in the chat. Sorry about the police sirens outside. My gosh, what is even happening? Don't you guys know we're trying to film a live stream? Come on. Eric says, in order to get more subscribers and grow more channels need to be added. Yeah, absolutely. So if they weren't adding any new features, any new channels, they would end up stagnant with their subscriber count, or people would find value in a different service and switch over. So it's to cut down on churn for sure, and also just to bring in new people. John says, I am saving Downton Abbey on Peacock. You know what? That was the first thing I watched on Peacock. Really good. I had already seen the series, but I hadn't watched the movie yet, so that was my first. Netflix has 4K content. Does YouTube TV, or am I making that up? That's a whole other post that needs to be written. That's something I just never pay attention to. I'm not someone who notices huge differences in image quality. Maybe I just have bad eyes. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. Prime does 4K. Brett wants to know if Philip is from Seattle. Yes, he is. He is from the Seattle area. Philip is actually out this week, but he will be back with more videos next week. I think he has a couple scheduled for this week while he's gone. Alan says, any word on FuboTV adding ESPN and Disney? Are prices going up or staying the same? Yeah, those channels are being added, but Fubo just recently had a price hike. We're all assuming that that price hike was in anticipation of adding those Disney that Disney Channel lineup, so I wouldn't worry about it going up again anytime soon. I think that they were just preemptively raising that price. Franchise says FuboTV streams some sports in 4K. Thanks for answering that question, guys. I appreciate that you all know more than me when it comes to a lot of this stuff. William says, when will Locast expand to more cities? Well, William, Locast just expanded to more locations in Florida, and they are definitely planning to expand more. I'm not sure what their timeline is. All we know is that it is very expensive for them to expand to a new location. So when money and resources are available, they will keep going. Ed says, hey Jess, still love your YouTube TV. Yeah. YouTube TV is a great service, super popular among cord cutters readers, and yes, they did just have a price hike, but those people who are loyal to the service are still loving it. So thanks for that, Ed. Appreciate you commenting. Paul says, the problem is that they're not learning from PlayStation and making the same mistake of raising the price. Yeah, agreed. I think that PlayStation had a ton of other stuff going on, so I don't think it was just the price hikes that caused that service to fold. But I think that there will come a time whenever people are not willing to pay any more for services. And like I said, I think that on-demand services will see a bit of a surge. It already is. And I think that tiered options might not be a bad idea. Jeff says, Jess, please, you are not old. What are you, mid-20s? I turned 48 this year, and that is old. 48 is not old, first of all. I feel like I probably shouldn't keep saying my age on here all the time, but I'm 34, for anyone wondering, Jeff. But thank you for that compliment. I will take mid-20s any day. Robert says, I wonder how many will stay on YouTube TV after the price increase. Yeah, I'm interested to see that too. I don't think we'll see it on Google's next earnings call, but I think in the next quarter we might see some numbers. I'm hoping that they share their numbers. Who knows if they will or not, but that would be great. Chris says, YouTube TV added My Network TV in Seattle. The on-air branding is Joe TV. Good to know. Brian says, yay, millennials. Jim says, I killed YouTube TV due to the price hike. Now Sling Blue and Orange with DVR and Air TV. That's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people switched over to Sling. I was on the phone with Sling Friday, I believe, and that was my feedback to them too, is that they announced that price guarantee just at the right time. I think that they were very smart to come out and say, we promise we will not raise the price for the next year. And I think a lot of YouTube TV subscribers made that switch. For those of you who didn't know, Sling TV announced that until August 1st of 2021, they will not raise their price for anyone who is subscribed before August 1st, 2020. So if you are looking to lock in that price, make sure that you subscribe to Sling TV by August 1st. Jeff had me pegged for 25 or 26. Thank you so much. I will take it. Manny wants to know when Peacock is going to be available on Roku and Amazon Fire, and that is a great question. Honestly, whenever they first came out, and whenever HBO Max first came out, I said, oh, it'll probably be within a couple of weeks. I can't see them not coming onto those devices. That's just crazy. And still nothing. So it's very, very frustrating. I completely understand that all of you guys are frustrated. I'm frustrated too. Love my Amazon Fire TV, love my Roku, would love to watch those services on either one of those. So yeah, very, very frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for all of them too while they're trying to make these deals. But no, we have no timeline right now. It was a very long answer to a very short question. What's new? I start talking and can't stop. All right, let's see here. Robert says, I've been with Sling TV for 3.5 years. Love the price, love the service. Yeah, agreed. I really like Sling TV too. I've been using it lately and really like it. Brian says, Apple TV OS 14 will give Apple TV users YouTube in 4K finally. Eric says, Peacock is interesting as a free service. Yeah, I think they were very smart to do that whole tiered strategy. Giving people a free option, I think, is a great way just to bring people in. And then if they find that they want some of that other content, if the free tier isn't enough or if they're missing out on some things, they have the option to upgrade right within the app. And I think that was so smart. That would be a recommendation I would make to any service just launching, or even some of the more established ones. Lillard says, I had Sling before but dropped them because they didn't have local channels. Yeah, Sling likes to say that they are a companion service to an antenna, if that works in your area. I know not everybody can use an antenna where they are located, but if you can, then yeah, Sling is a great addition to getting your locals for free with an antenna. Blue Raccoon says, is Leverage and Dragon Ball going to be on Vizio TV? I have no idea, to be honest. So sorry about that. That's a very specific question I do not have an answer for. If anyone else is a Dragon Ball fan, please leave a comment on whether it's coming to Vizio TV, if you happen to know, or where else you can find it. I'm sure you can find it on some streaming services that would work on a Vizio TV. Jermaine, the police sirens just drove by your street. How slow is my delay? You'll be answering my question in the future. Jermaine, you are very, very behind, minutes behind. So sorry. You guys, Jermaine is really having a heck of a time with his internet this week. Brian says, is there any word on T-Mobile TV? You know, I haven't heard any updates in quite a while with T-Mobile TV. I'm not sure what's going on over there. That's definitely something to look into, but no, I don't have any updates right now. Sorry. Jeff says, just an opinion here. I do not like Sling TV's price structure. It makes no sense. So I think that what Sling is trying to do is to be that a la carte service that people are looking for. It's definitely not for everybody, but their whole plan is to have that base service, and then you can add on all of your additional packages to only get the channels that you want. And that's their strategy, to not give you this service that's full of channels that you're not looking for. I think that that is a common issue with cable, is that you get 2,000 channels, but you don't want most of them. So with Sling, their plan is to let you kind of pick and choose, but it's definitely not for everybody, and the cost can add up very quickly. Dennis, that's a great answer for Blue Raccoon. Dragon Ball is on Hulu, so it might be on your Vizio TV. Yeah, and I think that's your option. Your best option is to find a streaming service that offers it and get that app on your TV. Jeff, yeah, Sling offers 2 packages. Each package has different channels, $15 more for all the channels. Yeah, agreed. Doesn't make sense for everybody, but lots of people do like it, so it's working for some people. That's the great thing about streaming. The great thing about cord cutting is that there's an option that works for everybody, but one thing won't work for everyone. Let's see. Faro says, hello, I got Rover's Morning Glory on Roku. Okay. Eric says, Sling TV has 2 basic packages and many add-ons. It's as close to a la carte as we have right now. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of a good test to see how a la carte works. And yeah, it's definitely just not for everybody. Martin says, HBO Max announced season 2 of the new Perry Mason show. Yeah, we posted about that earlier. Tamara wrote up a quick post. I think we published it. Having a hard time keeping track of what's going up when. It's been a long day. But yeah, Tamara wrote a post about that. So good news for Perry Mason fans. I made sure that we covered that because I know a lot of you really love that show. Blue Raccoon, here's another answer for you. Rob says Leverage is currently on the Roku channel, so you can watch it for free. If you have a Roku device, you can get that Roku channel. Manny wants to know my thoughts on FuboTV. I will say that it is not talked about quite as much as your YouTube TV, Sling, Hulu, but it's a great option, especially for sports fans. There are so many sports options on Fubo. Definitely take some time to look through their add-ons. They have a ton of stuff in there, so that if you are a fan of any sport, you can probably find a channel that's going to work for you. Oh, here's a question I would love to ask all of you to answer. Javon, is that how you say your name? What is the best platform to merge OTA and OTT live streaming channels into one ecosystem for your viewing pleasure? I would love to know what you guys think. Paul says, if you think you're old, I'm Generation X. We used to play outside and there were no cell phones. We had to entertain ourselves, no Facebook. I remember those days too. I'm not that young. Yeah, I remember the days before Facebook. Jeff says, Manny, Fubo is really good and their Twitter support is top notch. Yeah, definitely. Customer support is ace. I will say that most of these streaming services have really good customer support on Twitter. If you ever have an issue, I know that our first reaction is to call or email, but a lot of times you'll get a response really, really quickly on Twitter, so I would recommend that. All right, Jose says, I know AT&T TV Now sucks. There's an opinion, but I'm glad I'm grandfathered into a plan that has every basic channel, which new subscribers can't get. Other services seem to be missing that one channel I want. Yeah, it's so hard because sometimes you'll find a service that has almost all the channels that you want, but it's missing one or two, and the price to pay for those extra channels somewhere else really just adds up so quickly. It's very frustrating. So I'm glad to hear that you're happy with AT&T TV Now. All right, now we're talking about the MySpace days in the chat. Friendster. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. CJ, thanks so much for being here. Yeah, get back to work. Blair says, Peacock is terrible. There's too many something went wrong, content currently not available messages. Sorry to hear that. I have not run into that problem yet, and I've been watching it pretty consistently. Sorry to hear that. I would say maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe take the app off of your device and re-download it. That might solve the problem. That's something that gets recommended pretty frequently. Richard says, Jess, I remember the days when there were only 4 channels nationwide. I remember when we got a cable box at my house when I was little and I got Nickelodeon for the first time. It was the best day. Alan says, keep an eye on Pluto TV. There are more channels coming in the next couple weeks, like more of those CBS channels. Alan, I will trust that you will let me know when that happens. You are tried and true when it comes to filling me in on those Pluto channels, and I appreciate it so much. Jeff says, hey Jess, the former DirecTV Now and the late PlayStation Vue had horrible customer service. Yeah, another reason that those two services didn't work out, and I'm wondering if that was part of the reason for the rebranding of DirecTV, was to just kind of get that bad taste out of people's mouths and give them something new to focus on with a completely different name. I agree, customer service was not great. Sony was just not super committed to promoting their service or keeping it going, so we know how that turned out. James, I also had one of those little black and white TVs with the knob to turn the channels, so I'm with you. I grew up in the country. We were like 10 years behind everybody else, so I'm with you guys. I was there. Daniel says, I love the Weather Channel and Weather Nation and sports. Oh, so another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Local Now, which is run by the Weather Channel. they are now available on Vizio smart TVs. So if any of you are using a Vizio TV, you can get that Local Now channel. It has local, like, weather, sports, news, updates, things like that. Brett wants to know from the group who owns or rents a modem. I will say that I own my own modem. But I would love to know what you guys are saying. So let me know. Bill says, yeah, back in the day, kids were the remote. Yes, I remember those days. Lillard wants to know when Roku or Amazon will be coming out with a new streaming stick. That's a great question. Yeah, we haven't heard of any new ones in quite a while. It's been over a year for both, I believe. So, good question. I will say that I think a lot of companies had planned for different things to happen, but coronavirus slowed everything down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that later this year or even next year. I wouldn't be surprised to see some new devices and things. I think anything that was going to come out probably got delayed significantly. All right, here are some answers. Let's see. Robert owns his modem. Lillard rents. Chris owns. Jeff rents. Yeah, I would say it's like 50-50 of people owning and renting. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that before. Blair says, I own a modem. Comcast requires it for my internet service. Jose says, I own my own. Didn't want to keep paying Spectrum. I will say, if you own your own, check your bill and see if you're still paying for a rental fee. I know that's happening with a lot of companies. They still charge rental fees even if you own. I'm not sure there's anything you can do about it except complain, but I know that's happening. Eric says, I read online that a lot of people are having trouble with Hulu with live buffering a lot. I've had no problems with it. You know what? Kind of the opposite for me. I never had any trouble with Hulu with live, but my YouTube TV was always buffering, which is why I just kind of preferred Hulu. But yeah, that's really interesting. Just kind of different experiences for different people. Yeah, we're still getting about half and half of renting and buying. That was a really interesting question. Thank you for asking that. And thanks everyone for sharing your experiences. We should have put that on the survey. I'll make a note for next time. Daniel says, I missed cable news from back in the day. Yeah, a lot of us here will tell you, though, there are plenty of options for watching local news without cable. And that's another thing that we have a post coming up. I think next week we have a post coming up about how to watch local news. But I will say there are a ton of free services. Stir is a really good one. You can find some news channels over on the Roku channel. There are tons and tons of options. Also, I would recommend an antenna if one works in your area. You can get free local channels, and a lot of those will show news. John says, going to watch The Crown on Netflix. When are we done with this YouTube live? So sorry if it's taking too long. We'll wrap it up in just a few minutes, and then you can get to your Netflixing. It's getting awfully dark over here. I feel like it is about to rain. Thank you for those of you who warned me that the rain is coming. Alan, yeah, says news on Stir, antenna. Bill says CBSN, NBC News. Sky News, Haystack, News on Local Now. Yeah, tons and tons of free options for watching news. Oh yeah, that's a good point too. I watch my local news station on their website. Yeah, a lot of them will just have live feeds online if that works for you. Jose says, Hulu On Demand was having trouble loading on Apple TV for a while. Had to click and swipe up to close the app each time. Yeah, I think a lot of people were having trouble with things like that, but I've heard it for all different services, not just Hulu. So very interesting that we all have different experiences with different services. Manny wants to know if it's a city in North Carolina in the background. No, Cleveland, Ohio. I know, it's prettier here than people think, right? All right, just a few more minutes. So if anyone else has any other questions, squeeze them in now, and I'll try to get them answered before we wrap up. Alec wants to know, does Peacock offer user profiles? And I don't believe they do. Let me open my app real quick and just double check. No, I don't think that you can do profiles on Peacock. No. Which is weird. I think that's a pretty basic feature. Richard says, after this, I am going back to playing Wolfenstein 2 on Xbox. All right. That's one I haven't heard of, but that sounds fun. I might play a little Nintendo Switch Animal Crossing. I might do that after we're done here, and then I have lots of stuff to prep for the morning. We have some big news coming out tomorrow morning. Oh, Alan, yeah, good call. Pluto TV is another really good one for local news. A whole section of news channels like CBS, Sky News. Look under the news tab. Definitely. Yeah, Pluto is a really good one. Yep, lots of opinions about modems here. If you're looking for suggestions, scroll through the chat, definitely. Brett says, just got Paper Mario for the Switch. I didn't even know Paper Mario was out. That's great. NYC says, it's a nice skyline view. Yeah, I do have a really great view. I'm really happy with where I live. I just think Cleveland is so pretty. I love it here. All right, guys, it looks like we are winding down here, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night on this live stream. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have any questions after this, something that you forgot to ask or just didn't want to ask, you can email me anytime. It's just jess@corkcuttersnews.com. Also, you can find me over on Twitter at justtypes. You can tag me and stuff or DM me or whatever, and I will try to answer your questions. Over on Facebook too, we have the Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group, Cord Cutting Tech Support. Honestly, you can find me everywhere. I live on the internet. If you just yell to me on the internet, I'll respond. So thank you all so much for being here again. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you all same time, same place next week. Bye.